Hey everyone, it is the Charming Giraffe, and today we are going to semi-finish our series on ways to finish paintings using sealer that you brush on or not spray on, essentially. So today's video is using StoneCoat Countertops Art Coat. It is a two-part resin, and this one's lost its label, but you just do equal parts. It's pretty low fumes, whatever you want to call that. It doesn't smell that bad. I'm not in a very well ventilated area at all. I got these really cool measuring cups from the Dollar Tree this weekend. I plan to do a quick video on my Dollar Tree gems that I found, these being one of them. I know I've heard from others that you can just like peel the resin out once it's like done, cured or whatnot, that they peel out really easily, so we will see how that works. This is the first time I've used these particular cups, and if for some reason they break or whatnot, they were just $1, so I'm not worried about it. But I just measured out 1 1/3 cups just because I got a little ambitious. Of each of these. That means we have 2 2/3 cups, so I'm not really sure what other project I will have to do with this, but it does have an extremely long working time, like 45 minutes to an hour depending on your conditions and your additives. Some additives will make it cure faster than others. You do have to stir it for quite a while. Warmer resin works better than cold resin, as I've learned in an earlier video. It is on YouTube, but it was one of my very first ones. It was done last year. As you can see, it's just kind of foggy right now. If it was really cold, it makes it really bubbly when you go to mix it. It did not compromise the resin, however. I was really nervous that it may, but it didn't. So I was really excited and impressed by that. But yeah, you just gotta stir it, make sure it's thoroughly mixed, make sure you scrape your sides and the bottom, make sure that you get all of it. And then also just obviously make sure you do maintain that 1-to-1 ratio, because if your ratio is off, then it either won't cure or it might cure really fast, or I don't know all of what happens if you don't do that, but I'm sure nothing good happens out of it. But yeah, so we will get this stirred up, and then we're going to start on this painting. I have 3 to do. I'll probably show you 2 of the 3. I'll do a few different methods, so we will be right back. Okay, we are back. I have got the resin stirred up thoroughly. I just read the box as well, or the bottle, and it did say to stir for 2 minutes. So I made sure that I would hit at least that mark, if not more. For this technique on this one, and honestly, I don't know if I really see a difference in any of these. I haven't resined a ton of paintings by any means, but from what I have done, sorry, some weird noise. From what I have done, I love this. I haven't seen any difference between all the difference from my very first ones I've done to my most recent ones that I've done. So for this one, I'm just going to pour it on and move it around. I'm not going to use my hand or any instruments in this method right here. It is self-leveling, so you don't have to worry about that. I'm not worried about the runoff. I know it's probably slightly wasteful, but for this experiment, I'm not worried about it. Obviously, just with anything, I think I've mentioned this in a prior video, if this is the method that you prefer, then once you get it down, you'll know exactly how much you need to pour onto your canvas to completely coat it, and you won't have as much, if any, waste. I don't do this method. I don't think I've ever done this method for this type of medium or sealer, so I don't know how much I need, and I'd rather have too much and waste a little than have a problem later down the line and have to add more or whatnot, or not get it covered properly. I do absolutely love resin. It's probably my favorite material to seal with, but my biggest challenge that I've seen is, for me at least, is dust in my resin. So what we're going to do now, because we've got it fully covered, I'm going to take these gloves off and I'm going to torch it. 1 second. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Let me get a stick and so you can actually see it. So now we're just going to torch it. Hopefully this torch isn't disgusting. Torching is extremely important with this material. Sorry, sometimes I know you can't hear me when I'm torching. If you don't torch it, any bubbles you see in the resin as it's on the canvas, they will cure that way. So you can't really get rid of them after it cures. So it is extremely important that you torch it before to make sure you get any bubbles out. Now it is also important that you don't over torch because you can burn it. I should burn one for you just so you can see it, what it does. But I don't want to burn this one. So I will either do that intentionally and show you at the end of the video, or I'll find one that I did on accident. I'm sure I have one laying around here somewhere. It's just a matter of locating it and show you that. But already I can, unless I'm just like extra concerned, I already see dust in here and I don't really know what to do to prevent that. I know I have the ceiling fan on right now just because it's like extremely hot, but even without it on, I don't think I have one piece and it only has like 1 or 2 pieces of dust in it. I don't think I have a single piece that didn't get any dust in it whatsoever and is completely flawless. So I don't really know what to do to stop that. I do have the covers, the same food tents that I use when I do my spray outside that I was going to cover it with. I still will, but it still already has dust in it. It still looks amazing, so I'm not going to like worry too much about it, but I don't know how to stop that from happening. Additionally, you'll get little dots. This was in a video not too long ago. Actually, probably like every single one I've shown you, like the back of the canvas. You'll get little drips of the resin. You can just sand it down, or you can baby it. And by babying it, it just means take the stick and do this every so often to just wipe away the runoff. It is self-leveling, so just make sure that you put it in a level location, and you won't have any problems with that. Yeah. So we will move this and be right back with another painting to do. Alright, we are back to seal this painting, and this time I'm just going to use my hand to move the paint, or to move the resin around. Again, I'm sure this will be plenty. Can you guys see how cool that is? How like those colors just like come to life. Like here, right here's a really good example where these dots are in the black. And how like red and pink those just pop once the resin hits it. So cool. Okay, let me just torch this real quick. I just want to see. Yeah, it's looking good. And then you can literally just do this with your hand. There's nothing special that you have to do here. There are tools, I don't have any of them, that you can use to spread the resin around with. Just make sure you get all the areas. I clearly have a lot on here. But again, it's self-leveling, so you don't have to worry about running it off or whatnot. It'll just be a thicker layer from my understanding. Let me know if you've had any experiences with too little or too much resin in the comments. This one actually went a lot faster than doing the tilt method, I think. There's a lot in here. Let me torch it. This one actually looks a lot less dusty than the last one. A few, but not near as many. I think I am happy with that. I think I got all the bubbles out. this is just a little torch. I think it's called like a... it has a word. I'll put the link to this in the description. It's off of Amazon. It's got all kinds of paint and stuff all over it. I don't remember what it's called. I'll leave it in the comments. I apologize for that. But yeah, we will come back after these cure. They typically take about a 24-hour cure time, depending on your conditions. For me personally, for anything, for the paint, whatnot, the colder it is, the longer it takes to cure. I'm sure humidity plays a big role in that as well. But typically, like, the warmer it is, the faster it'll cure. So sometimes my paintings will cure extremely fast, like within 8 hours instead of waiting a day. I haven't used resin very much this summer. I don't know what the temperature is in the studio, but I know outside it's like 85, 90 degrees, somewhere around there. So yeah, it shouldn't take too terribly long to cure. Well, I think I have one more to do. I'll do that off camera, but we will come back once these are cured and show you the end result. See you in a little bit. Alright, and we are back. Our paintings have cured for about 24 hours, plus or minus 30 minutes or so. I don't remember which one we did first. I think it was this one. And turned out really good. This is really heavy, actually. I'm impressed. Let's just start here. Really nice. See if I can find any dust. I'm sure there's some in here. It's just a matter of seeing if you guys can see it. Maybe right there. See how the light refracts right there? Let me see if I can find it with my own eyes and not in the camera. Yeah, might actually just be a bubble. It actually doesn't look too much like dust. Surprisingly, there's some in this corner down here. Some more bubbles and or dust. Hard to say. Still turns out really pretty. Let me know what you think about that. If that would be, if that would matter to you, seeing that in the painting. And these down here. Let me get the light on it. Like that right there. There's some more over here. I love this painting in general, aside from the resin, or in spite of the resin. Just these colors and the way they blended, and this, all of it. Absolutely all of it. I loved it when it poured out. I was like really excited. And then this was the next one. One of them we like just tilted around, and the other one we actually used our hands to get the resin on it. It's self-leveling, so it didn't really, either method works just fine. So whichever one you prefer. I prefer to not get sticky. It doesn't really work if you're working with resin though, and you'll nearly all the time get some on you. So I actually left the studio and there was some on my face later. Like, I felt it. I was like, oh no. But here's some of that dust I was talking to you about earlier. I just don't know what to do about it. Yeah. So this is how these turned out. I told you I was going to try to burn some resin, and I did this painting. This is not cured all the way. Let me get these ones out of the way. If that works. There, that works even better. Alright. So, I tried to burn it, and the first section was over here, and it really just left a void in the paint. Surprisingly, this is not what happened the first time I burned my resin. I would show you that, but it's actually, it was on a piece of wood, and it's used to prop up a shelf right now, so I can't really get to it. And then this is the second area that I burned, and you can see that it kind of like melted. If you can melt resin, it made it unlevel, and it made it where it didn't level itself out. This one left the void, and then this one just kind of messed it up. I don't really know how else to word that. So the resin, we had leftover resin from doing these paintings, and I did some jewelry with it. So you will see that coming up in a few days. And then I tinted some of the resin, and that's why you see this resin purpley color. It's this color right here. and that is using these mica powders in the resin by Get Creative with Hygie Life. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's the Wild Plum and the Purple Haze mica powders. I get these off of Amazon. I can include the link in the description for that as well. So be looking forward to that video coming up in the next couple of days, using it to make some jewelry. Let's get these back in frame for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'll be happy to help with those. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and do what makes you happy.